welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here, I obviously don't know why. No, I'm just kidding. We are doing a workout today. We are doing Lucas's program. It is the fifth workout, right? Yeah, and we're doing a full upper body workout. Apparently I'm doing his workout today. It's 4 sets of a lot of stuff I probably don't normally do, but I'll probably be making like some accommodations when it comes to the chest-ish movements. Chest-ish, I can't believe I just said that, chest-ish. I used to do chest, I used to train chest. Like what am I talking about? But anyways, it's 2:19 in the morning. You're not surprised. If you've been here before, you're not surprised. If you're new here, it's 2:19 a.m., not p.m. That's why no one else is here. So I'm gonna continue to eat my rice. I honestly have no idea how much I put in here. I thought I was going to lose one of my 9 lives because Lucas decided to put my ladder in my closet and it fell on my toe, my bad toe. I have a broken pinky toe because I used to dance. And I had a complete meltdown. I had a whole nother outfit on and I was like really hot because I was so mad. So I had to take off my clothes, change my clothes, and then I'm like, I'm hungry. So now I have a rice. I don't even know how to track this, but yeah, hope you're having a great day. I hope people don't get like stressed out like watching me because I feel like I'm stressed a little bit. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna kill this workout. We're gonna have great explanations because Lucas is like he's ready to leave right now. We haven't even started yet. So.
Okay, so we're gonna start this workout with my warm-up. So when I do my warm-up, it's less about warming up for strength training, and it's more about warming up for a mixture of strength and hypertrophy training. So in this warm-up, you're gonna see that I kind of do a warm-up exercise for every single muscle group. I target my rear delts, I target my delts, my rotator cuffs, my triceps, my biceps, my back, and then I'll save my chest more for the first movement, which is next. I'll do warm-up sets with that to get my chest warmed up. The main thing of my warm-up is I'm trying to get blood flow into my muscles and I'm trying to get my muscles warmed up effectively so I can have an effective workout. The goal for me right now is less about strength and pushing a ton of heavy weight, and it's more about controlling the movements, working through solid and full ranges of motion, and having good mind-muscle connection while pushing the most weight I can possible. You're even gonna see in this warm-up that I do some abs. For me, getting a good core warm-up or getting my core engaged before I start always translates to a better workout as a whole.
All right, so here Lucas is, God, what the hell is wrong with this? Lucas, no.
With what? The stringer?
What is?
This stringer's been through 6 years of war.
No, but you always have holes on this side. What are you doing to this side of your, like, is it always the pants on this side and always like?
My shirt just gets caught on shit all the time.
Fuck? Okay, anyways, sorry.
All right, well, guys, I'll buy a new stringer. Code Miranda will save me 10%. It'll save you 10% too.
You know, everything's not an ad, okay? Everything's not an ad.
Well, this is about to be an ad.
But anyways, we're doing, well, not we, he's doing dumbbell incline fly. Okay, so I'm gonna say back in my day, because I feel like I have a right to say that, because back in my day, as in like 4 years ago, because every older person says that, like they'll be like, oh my God, like, you know, it must be nice because, you know, back in my day, I benched 315. It's like, dude, no one fucking cares. No one cares what you used to bench, and you probably had shitty form because you look like shit now, but that's besides the point. Anyways, back in my day when I did chest movements because I didn't care about the way I looked, because now apparently I do, I really liked actually doing flies because I one thought that it actually helped me have a very strong posterior chain, as in when I did this movement I really focused on actually like engaging my scapulas, really pulling them down, because a lot of the times like when I see people doing flies incorrectly, it's more so a lot of people are doing them with their traps really shrugged up, so they're doing it more of like this, and it actually becomes more of a shoulder movement than it does a chest movement. Sure. So the cool thing about when like Lucas does this is like he's not very on like a low incline, he's actually on a very high incline.
One notch above the highest.
Yeah, and you'll notice that when he actually gets set up, he really like when he has the dumbbells here, he's really pulling his lats down, and like they're actually touching the pad here. He's really pulling himself down, but he is also arching because again, what we want to focus on is really engaging the chest and less of the delts. You'll notice that his delts are very activated just because he's decided to get really massive over the last few years, because this is all we do is go to the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning. But in retrospect to what I'm saying, you know, he is actually focusing more so now on engaging his muscles and actually just trying to get a workout in because of our insane schedule, where beforehand, you know, he was more focused on, you know, hitting more bench PRs and barbell bench pressing and all those great things. But we don't have time for that anymore. So therefore, he is just trying to look really good. And, you know, he told me to say that he's still strong because he's doing the 100-pound dumbbells.
I didn't tell you to say that.
You said you're still doing 100-pound dumbbells.
I said I'm about to incline fly 100, so like this is heavy, but it's not a movement you have to go super heavy on. I can just do it heavy.
So
and also the main thing of what she was saying about the scapula is while you're pulling it down is as you do the movement, you're gonna see that my chest opens up and it's gonna engage more.
Well, you wanna make sure that you're still maintaining pulling your lats down and your traps down while you're doing upper body movements, because again, it's not about just doing the movement and rushing through it. It's about really engaging the right muscle groups. So like, you'll see here, he's very arched in this position here, and it's because he's trying to keep his scaps really tight to the bench. And obviously, as you get heavy, like the dumbbells obviously are, you know, very heavy. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, we're not doing that. None of the screaming, okay? What, are we pressing now?
It almost became a press on that one.
Okay.
6.
What I was gonna say is obviously flies typically like they really make this motion, but because the dumbbells are so big, he can't control it all the way like that.
Actually, so this is actually a really good thing to speak on. So when you do the fly, you're gonna see a lot of people do it different ways. So
some people go really far out.
Some people go up here.
Yeah, and it's really weird.
This is not a chest fly.
Yeah.
This is a delt fly.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a chest fly, you're gonna have more of a dumbbell pathway. So you're gonna have a little bit more of your elbows tucked at that 45.
And delt flies are still good to do also, by the way.
Well, delt flies you would do more vertical. You would do them more here.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do a delt fly here and your goal is a chest fly, you're really just wasting your time.
Yeah.
And like that's pointless in the gym.
And I would say if you're a guy and you're actually trying to honestly build your chest, because I think that in men, and I'm just speaking on like what I see and observe, I'm not talking about myself, okay? So just cut the jokes because it's not funny. Like we get it, I have a chest, okay.
Drops that.
More so, I think that chests really are hard to build for most men, and also a lot of guys like are very lazy, so they don't want to do it. But to be honest with you, I know a guy trains hard based on how big their chest is and how big their legs are. I would say that's kind of how I can kind of form like, okay, you know what you're doing, and like you probably just go to the gym and like just do arm day and just jack your chiller's friends up. Okay, I'm just
Jesus Christ.
kidding. All right, I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of vulgar today. I don't mean to be like that. What did I say earlier?
I'm not repeating it.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Maybe we can cut that out.
Okay, we'll go to the next part, guys. Okay, so the movement that we have superset with the dumbbell incline fly is a neutral pull down. The first thing you're gonna notice with the neutral pull down that we're using is the grip is about a wrist or bicep length outside shoulder width. So we both prefer a wider neutral pull down because we get way better lat engagement. And Miranda's a perfect person to wash this on. See how she keeps tension on her lat as she comes up, and then she's squeezing her lat down here as she come down. That was bad grammar. But the point is, when you're doing this, is we're keeping tension on the lat. So you could notice when Miranda was going up, she was keeping tension. When she came down, she really focused on that squeeze at the bottom. Okay, we're heading in to our 4th movement of the day. Is that my YouTube voice?
So bad.
Sorry guys, that's my I'm getting film voice.
All right, class, ladies and
All right.
pay attention. We're doing a back movement, like we get it.
Well, your mic's off, so I can't hear you.
I'm yelling.
Okay. So we're gonna go into breaking down this seated low row. So the first thing to notice is, I know, just, can you go? Stop making fun of me.
I'm sorry, you're funny too.
I know. So the first thing you're gonna notice is as she sets up is she's gonna hinge her upper body forward and push her hips back with her core tight. This angling as she rows is gonna help target that lower to middle back and that rhomboid. So the cool thing to notice, because you can see very clearly on Miranda's back because it's very lean, is as she comes forward, her shoulder blades protract forward, and then as she comes back and she engages the lats in the row, her shoulders retract and she engages those lats. So protraction, feel the stretch, keep that tension on the lat. Retraction, feel the lats engage, feel the squeeze, chest drives through.
All right, so we're gonna explain.
Oh, you're doing what I did.
I'm just kidding, we're not doing that. All right, we have a very high incline neutral chest press. Lucas loves everything high incline because what he's really wanting you to know is that he has very defined shoulders, because a lot of the movements that he does for chest also very much so incorporate his delts and his shoulders. I'm actually just being honest, like you actually do train a lot of chest, but your shoulders are also very much so activated because of the high incline that you actually do. Okay, so same thing as we talked about before. You're gonna notice that he is actually projecting his chest very much so forward because he's gonna focus on squeezing his scaps and pulling his lats down on the pad. You guys, this is so important when you do this movement because again, if you're gonna be flat chested, you are more likely going to get injured and you are more likely going to strain your chest doing it like that. So you'll notice too when he's coming down, he's very much so controlling the weight. And again, this is a neutral press. So it is also very similar to the fly, it's just he's not doing more of like a circular motion, he's actually just coming down. And you'll notice that when he's coming down, it's a very straight line all the way up and all the way down. Big breath, let's go. He's also bracing his core, that was a little wide. Yep, and good job. So you'll notice on that last rep that he did, it was, the dumbbells just kind of got really heavy, so it's easier to honestly like lose control of the dumbbells when they get heavy like that. It's not about bad form, it's more so just, you know, when you have honestly 90 pounds in your hand, it's very hard to control it the whole entire time. So he was just kind of fried. Oh, we're just doing a burnout set.
I'm just doing a burnout set.
So
tell them why I'm doing it.
So back in the day when we used to train in Michigan at the power gym we used to train at, Lucas, if he didn't have a good workout, his whole mood, day, everything was just absolutely ruined. And now he just is thankful to actually get a workout in because I think he actually hates me and my time management so much that he actually finds his peace in the gym. And that's actually why he just did that burnout set.
That's not why. The program says to do a burnout set. But the point of the burnout set is I didn't get 10 reps. I took that set to failure.
They know why they did it.
I did it because in the program and because I'm fucking a sicko and I like the gym. My mic's on now.
You just said you were a sicko? All right, so here we have the side raise. We're like almost done with this workout, but we still have a little bit more to go. So you'll notice that when he does this, he really drives forward with his dumbbells. And I would say there's not really like a wrong way to do this movement. I, for a long time, have had to like lean more forward, where like you'll notice that like, when he's driving his arms up, he's actually driving more so like almost on like a 45-degree angle, but he's also focusing on really pulling up with the dumbbells rather than pulling with his shoulders. And you notice too, like even at the bottom, he's pulling it out like this. He's also really trying to engage his side delt. This is also a really easy movement, but I would say it's actually very easy to do this movement wrong. And what I mean by that is sometimes when people are doing the shoulder side raise or whatever, they are like shrugging their shoulders up and like really utilizing their traps. So a lot of times if you see people that have a lot of, I would say like mass to their traps and their delts are not large, it's probably because when they do movements like this, they're not really pulling their traps down and their scaps down to really like engage their delts and their shoulders. But Lucas has really good engagement there. And I would say too, like when you get to be advanced, you can actually allow your shoulders to roll a little bit, because then like when he's still doing the side raise, he's actually still using his delts even with his shoulders like rolled forward a little bit. But everybody cannot do that, because sometimes when people like roll their, you know, the entire posture kind of just like gets really lazy. So for me personally, like when I do the side raise, I'm more so like, I would say I do this a little bit more standing up straight now, but it took me a long time to get there, because in prior videos I've also talked about how, you know, my traps take over, so I have to lean more like forward, I would say. So like what I do a lot now is like I just try to make sure I pull like down and back, and like when I'm raising, I'm just trying to really focus on like feeling it in my side delt. See, like I don't even have any weights right now, and you can see like I'm actually really like engaging my delts here. But again, like it's all about too the pattern at which you actually raise up, because again, like I could, you know, get lazy with it, or you know, maybe I could just, you know, talk off camera, and I could just be doing this, and then I'm like, oh shit, my traps, you know. So it's like you have to kind of focus on what you're doing. Even if the movement's very easy, you still need to focus on like where you're feeling it.
Okay, the next movement we have is a bent over dumbbell rear delt. So rear delt is one of my favorite muscle groups that I've worked for years. It's one of the things that I've probably overtrained coming into moving to Florida. Same with Miranda. And you're gonna notice as she does this movement, her hips are driving back like it's an RDL. She's slightly tucking her arms as she performs the raise, and she's focusing on feeling her rear delt engage right here. So as she comes through with the dumbbell, she's gonna push her chest through and feel the scapulas drive through, so you feel that scapula engagement, which is gonna help pull that rear delt engagement. Woo! So this is one of the movements in the last superset that we have. And like, there you go. So we're gonna do a cable behind the head tricep extension. This is probably my favorite tricep.
This is my thing, Lucas.
Okay, this is my second favorite tricep movement, because realistically, the dumbbell lying tricep extension it's basically a skull crusher. But the main reason why I like this movement is because it's gonna target all three heads of your tricep at the same time. The goal with this is to get a really good deep stretch while keeping your elbows vertical. That way you're getting a good stretch in the tricep, which allows it to, the more range of motion, the more stretch you're gonna get, the more you're gonna see your tricep form and grow, because strength and going heavy with a tricep movement is not as important as hypertrophy and feeling that movement engage. So you want to focus on more blood flow and more on how you get a pump in that movement versus lifting a ton of weight. If you can do both, that's awesome. But with triceps and biceps, I would say it's more about hypertrophy and going as close to failure as possible versus training heavy and having bad form. And she's touching me, because why?
Is that the Arnold thing?
Oh yeah, we're done here.
All right, so Lucas is doing this bicep curl here. You'll notice that he has two of the handles on the cable. The cable machines are a little bit weird in here, I'm not gonna lie, just because like this is a good cable, but this is the one that kind of extends all the way up. This one has a little bit more range of motion, where the other ones are a little bit just more down or whatever. So when he's doing this movement, you'll notice that he's a little bit protracting his shoulders forward, and he's really focusing on squeezing his bicep here. And you'll notice too that like when he's coming all the way up, he's not just feeling it in the bottom part of his bicep, he's actually really trying to connect his shoulder to his bicep. And actually this is actually the exact, I would say like, what's the word I'm looking for? This is actually what makes your biceps big here. It's not the muscle down here, it's actually right here. So whenever you're doing a curl, whether you're doing dumbbells, cables, machine, whatever you're doing, make sure that you're really focusing on feeling it throughout the entire movement, you know, because everyone can do a curl and just, you know, and just go like this. But like if you actually bring it all the way up and you really start to squeeze here, you can actually feel your bicep connecting to your shoulder, and that's actually what creates your arms to be just massive, you know. Lucas knows all about that. Hee hee. So now he's just kind of doing a drop set to finish out. He likes to do a lot of drop sets in his program. You'll notice that like typically after the last set of the main set, he will always typically take everything till failure. I actually do the same thing, but I would say with his upper body, he's a little bit more detail oriented with like really destroying his upper body, where I feel like I'm a little bit more drop set in the legs, let's say. Yeah.
Well, I do both, but definitely more legs for you.
Yeah. It's kind of hard though in this gym. Like we don't have a lot of like barbells to use. Like they have bars, but they're not 45-pound bars. So it's hard to kind of take things till failure if you're not on a machine. But you do a good job engaging your biceps on the curls. Yeah. Like Lucas is actually one of those people where he didn't always have big arms, where he had to like really work at it. And how many times a week were you doing arms, did you say?
2 to 3.
Yeah. So Lucas was doing two to three arm workouts a week when his arms were not up to his liking. And you know, sometimes a lot of people's bodies, like sometimes you have a lot of imbalances where, you know, one is really like lacking and you have to like really drill it. You just have to make sure that the programming makes sense with your off days and your rest time and also your other muscle groups, which is also again why Lucas's program differs than mine, where there's a lot more detail of focus on honestly really training your upper body really hard. I'm not saying that my program isn't hard, it's more so just there's a huge difference between doing 2 upper body workouts and 3 leg days versus Lucas is actually really training and like also solidifying the upper body movements. So he does legs obviously, you know, twice a week, but it's more so just he's really taking the upper body workouts to the next level where mine are a little bit more machine oriented, getting the job done. If you want strength, his program's better for that. If you want something that's a little bit more leg focused, my program is the route to go.
We're on our last movement of the day. We got a bent over T-bar row. So the first thing that I'm going to talk over with Caden is I want you to hinge into your position like it's an RDL. Hips stay high, drive your hips back. This is the position I want you to stay in. We're going to row from here. So drive your elbows to your hips. As she drives his elbows to his hips, you're going to notice his chest drives through and he's pulling it into where he feels that lat engagement. As Caden goes, you already noticed he kind of shifted back to his chest being vertical. I'm not going to correct him for one reason. For Caden, he gets the best lat engagement and being a little more vertical. Where when I do my bent over row with myself, I like to be more flat like a table to get that lower lat engagement, because if I did this engagement per se, I get more of that upper back middle rhomboid. And for me, this movement's more about engaging my lat versus engaging my middle rhomboid. So I'll show you kind of how I'll do it versus that like vertical upright position, which isn't wrong. Again, that's not wrong. So Caden's more here and he's rowing to here, where I'm more here and I'm rowing to here. The biggest difference is going to be where you feel your engagement, and it's going to be what feels most comfortable to you. In my position, you really have to focus on stabilizing through your glutes and core, or your lower back's gonna get wrecked. Where with Caden's positioning, it's a little more, honestly, it's an easier position to get into without other muscles compensating, but you're not gonna get as good of engagement in your back as you would being more flat. And you're not gonna get as good of a range of motion.
All right, so we are closing this video. Thank you guys for watching. Also to understand that when we sometimes film these videos, we have not slept yet, and it's not an excuse to not give you guys great tips. So just, I would say, comprehend that sometimes we're not at like 100% capacity, but we are still trying to make sure that we honestly say tips, review form, and honestly this brings back a lot of memories when I used to personal train clients of like kind of going through the motions of like, okay, so how do I do this again? Like if I had to, you know, tell a beginner. So in the next few Train With Us videos, I don't know exactly when we're gonna do it, but we're gonna actually have Caden do the workout, and Lucas and I are actually gonna take turns going back and forth of kind of reviewing his form. And mind you, I just said reviewing, I didn't say critiquing his form. We're not gonna just change his entire, you know, his mojo that he has going on right now. That takes time to build, and it takes time to want to change what you're doing, and it takes also time to build muscle. So the biggest thing with when you're teaching somebody movements, or you're like, you know, if you're going with your friend, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, you know, you need to be supportive while also still wanting the best for them. And it's all about the way that you present the information. It's not about nitpicking them and saying, no, you're doing this wrong. You know, it's not that. You'll notice that like when we're, you know, when he's here with us doing the workouts, it's, you know, okay, so notice that he's doing blah, you know, maybe he could sit back a little bit. There's ways to kind of say it where like we're not trying to belittle anybody. Even, you know, if I'm doing a movement, you know, or Lucas is, it's like, obviously I joke a lot, obviously, but it's honestly to make the video fun, and I find myself sometimes getting bored listening to just like facts. So I hope that you guys like the way that we do it, because we're just honestly ourselves, and that's about all there is to it. So now to wrap this up officially, I just wanted to say that I am not here, but you can actually go find my AI filter avatar shit on Facebook. I think I'm there 6 times, but Facebook has not paid me or asked me to utilize my thing, but you guys can not tag me in photos and use my body and put your face on it. So have a nice day. Bye.